The cash analogy. One of the most powerful ways of helping people change their way they think about their eating, particularly over longer periods, is to have analogies to cash. Because often we create these strange kind of thought processes and beliefs and a lot of emotion around our food that can be changed very quickly if we just consider it essentially the same way we do our money. Because although it clearly is an amount of emotion around money, it's probably not anywhere near as much as it is around our food. So we can just consider that we have a certain budget for the week, both financially and with our food. If we knew we had £100 cash spare every week to spend, firstly, we wouldn't expect to spend exactly the same day in, day out. We wouldn't then beat ourselves up and decide it was written off if we spent a little bit more one day. If we spent 25 quid on one day, we'd probably just think, I'll just spend a tenner for the next few days and average it out. Our food can, to a large extent, be exactly the same. We can have periods of overconsumption, overspend, if you will, followed by periods of underconsumption or underspend to create that total average. And that removes much of that emotion. It's a perfectly fine thing to do to overspend. We just need to create an average expenditure over the weeks and months to fit within our budget. And ultimately, it helps us question that thought process of not wanting to look at it in that way. Because countless times I've spoken to people and they're like, I don't really want to be paying attention to my calories. And I get that, but fundamentally, however we go about doing it, the calorie intake is the thing that needs to underpin our approach if we're looking to lose or fundamentally maintain weight. And saying you don't want to look at it in any way, shape or form is like saying, I know I'm spiraling into debt, I know I'm maxing out on my overdrafts, I'm getting charged by my cards, but I just don't want to pay any attention to how much money I'm spending. That's not going to be an approach that works. You don't necessarily have to count every single penny and pound, but you do need to look at how that's going in the same way as we do need to look at how our calories are going. And a third way of considering this analogy is the strange rules that we can create around our eating. You know, we might assign a certain number of points to something, or we have days where things don't count or what have you. And again, that wouldn't work for expenditure. If our friend told us they were spiraling into debt and you asked them how they were looking to keep track of that, they said, right, I've assigned points value of £25 to different things and I keep track of how many points those things cost, but some of them I consider to be free, and then on some days I don't pay any attention to how much I spend. You'd be like, this is a super weird way of doing it. Just track the one number that's relevant, your pounds, your calories, take much of the emotion out of the situation, create an average across the week, and you're way more likely to get there.